Coming back to the point I have explained before, which is taking notes and the different ways of taking notes. When you read a reference or a source and you want to use the ideas expressed in the original reference, you can either quote, which is the easiest way. You take the idea expressed in the same way the original writer has put it, and you put it between inverted commas and you document. Of course, there are other things that you have to have in mind when quoting. Now, the other two ways of taking notes, which are paraphrasing and summarizing, need some work on the part of the researcher. You need to work on the ideas you take from the source before you put it in your own paper or in your own research. So, quoting, I think, is clear. We need to explain the difference between paraphrasing and summarizing. Now, paraphrasing is taking someone's idea, as we said, and putting it in your own words. So that means you are required to use one idea and express it in your own words. On the other side, summarizing is some sort of a condensed version of the main ideas of the author and putting them in your own words. So while in both cases you need to use your own language in order to rephrase or restate the idea, in the case of paraphrasing, you are using one idea. In the case of summarizing, you are trying to put together the main ideas in the original reference. Another difference is that paraphrasing is some sort of restructuring, which means that you are expressing differently the idea, expressing the idea in different language. As for summarizing, it is shortening the original text at the focus of the writer when summarizing. That means that there is some sort of condensing, of making shorter. Another major difference between paraphrase and summary is that in the case of paraphrase, as mentioned earlier, it is going to be of the same length as the original, approximately the same length. As for summarizing, it is going to be considerably shorter than the original. And this is what we are used to do, since we were little, to summarize. That means to put something in condensed form, to take the main ideas of a text and put them in condensed form. That means you are going to remove all the details. Now, as for paraphrasing, you focus on one idea, you take that idea, and all you do is that you express it in your own words. Let's have a look at an example. And this example is chosen, on the topic of one of the points related to research, which is using quotations. Students frequently overuse direct quotation in taking notes, and as a result, they overuse quotations in the final research paper. Probably only 10% of your final manuscript should appear as directly quoted matter. Therefore, you should strive to limit the amount of exact transcribing of source material while taking notes. And this is the reference. Of course, it's not going to be put like this. The author has just put it here to show us the reference, but this is not the right way to document. Okay, so have a look again at this passage. and try to grasp the main idea that is expressed here. Okay, so let's have a look at one way of paraphrasing this example. In research papers, students often quote excessively, failing to keep quoted material down to a desirable level. Since the problem usually originates during note-taking, it is essential to minimize the material recorded verbatim. So, length is a little bit shorter, as you can see, but it's not very short. And the main idea is there, which is excessive quoting, which students should not do. And since the problem is related to note-taking, students should try to make less use of direct quotations when taking notes. Now, this is the original passage, and this is the summary. Can you see that it is much shorter? Now, what about the ideas? Students should take just a few notes in direct quotation from sources to help minimize the amount of quoted material in a research paper. Okay, so it's just giving you the gist of what is expressed in the original paragraph. Now, since this is a short passage, you can see that one idea, and here again it's one idea, not many ideas, but when we are talking about a set of 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, definitely you'll be having more than one idea in a summary. Okay, just to understand the difference even further, I have put the 3 together in one slide.